Good evening. My name is Angela Stolte, and I'd like to talk to you today about abortion. Abortion is a very real and devastating problem that we have in America. People have used abortion so much so that it is causing a downgrade in the value and the sanctity of life. This can be changed by showing the love of God and counseling those who have gone through this procedure. We also need to educate the women of today of what abortion really is. Tens of thousands of women and girls across the country are fooled into thinking that a quick abortion will solve their unintended problem. This leaves them even more broken and devastated than what they were before they went into the clinic. The effects of abortion on women is different for everyone. Some feel a sense of relief, others are regretful and depressed. For most women, the psychological and the physiological effects are greater than the physical effects. Most everyone today has experienced either the loss of a pregnancy story or an abortion story, whether it be on media or in their personal lives. We all have been in contact with someone who has had a loss. I have had a loss. I am the mother of 4 beautiful babies. However, I've been pregnant 6 times. 2 of those times, my pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. Even though it was a spontaneous thing that occurred by nature, it was still devastating and detrimental to my psyche. I can only imagine what these women are feeling who have decided to end their pregnancies on their own. Although abortion is a terrible act, the women who have these procedures are no different than any other person who decide that God's values aren't as important as their situation. The effect on the psyche that abortion has is detrimental to our society. By giving godly counsel and showing the women that God loves them regardless of their transgressions, we will begin to see a difference in the way that society views the sanctity of life. See, I'm going to show you a kind of word and a listening ear can begin to heal a broken heart. See, God loves even those who are in sin. But God showed his greatest love for us by sending Christ to die for us while we were still sinners. Romans 5:8. We're going to begin with emotional troubles. Abortion affects women on an emotional level. When a woman has an abortion, she is undergoing a procedure that will destroy a living organism that was created by her inside her. The mere fact alone can cause emotional distress following the procedure. A lot of women feel guilty and regret, sometimes even anger. A woman who is predisposed to previous or psychological concerns, those who have conflicting religious views, and those who have been either coerced or forced into having an abortion are the women who are more likely to experience emotional effects. Some women have less expectations for when they have the procedure done and are left even more emotional than they were before they went in. And see, the physical effects are also difficult, which brings me to my second point. The physical effects of an abortion are equally as difficult to women who have had an abortion. Women are affected differently from one to the next, and the extremes are different. The physical effects can include abdominal pain and cramping, nausea and vomiting, spotting, diarrhea, all of these things. But these are small things that affect women. There are more serious things. More serious complications include, but are not limited to, heavy bleeding, infection and or sepsis, damage to the cervix, scarring of the uterine lining and perforation of the uterus, and damage to your other organs. It's a very dangerous procedure to go through. However, there is hope. And this brings me to my third and last point. Education and godly counsel will change the lives of these women. There are different ways that abortions can be done, ranging from 14 weeks to 25 weeks. These abortions use tactics like forceps to rip the baby apart, to pull the baby out of the cervix, suction to suck the baby, the remains of what's left of the pregnancy, out of the mother. These procedures, I don't believe, are mainstream enough or talked about enough for these women who are making this decision to rely on an informed decision. So education is needed. After a devastating procedure, the woman is in a state of indifference, and different emotions are going through her head. This is the time when they may feel lost and alone. The need for a godly counselor at this point is very important. They may be searching for something to fulfill the emptiness that they are feeling. This is the most important time to be available. Not just physically available, but be emotionally available. Listening to the cries of the broken women and offering them the love of God is going to turn this around. And this is going to bring me to my conclusion. There are options depending on who you are serving. We are a society where abortion is an acceptable practice and there is no regard for human life. We have people who will protest the killing of marine animals and protest the woman's right to choose at the same time. There are many different ways that we as Christian counselors can change this around. I'm going to ask you to stand up. Be that voice that God has intended you to be. We are to share the love of God so that the lost and the broken will recognize where their help comes from. I encourage all of you to educate yourselves on what abortion is. Make yourselves aware of what the sanctity of life is and why our Creator gave us the ability to procreate in the first place. Stand up for what life stands for. Thank you.